Hey guys, Terry with Computer Pro. Super quick mini review on the Otterbox case for the iPhone 6, and I picked up a Speck Grip, Candyshell Grip case after seeing it reviewed. Very nice case, fits really tight. I was always an Otterbox fan. The Otterbox for iPhone 5 is pretty legendary. For 6, there's some, if you notice on the 5, it's kind of squared off, feels like a brick, like a walkie-talkie. The size is good, but that's because the 5's a lot smaller. The 6, because of the size of the phone, adds quite a bit to it. I love the color scheme. It's our logo colors, so I ordered it from Otterbox like this. You can choose the different shell and the inside plastic and so forth. Protection is phenomenal with Otterbox. It really is. The biggest complaint I have is, other than the size, but you just know that going into it, you're getting more protection. It's going to be thicker. It just is. Okay. However, the buttons do not push well at all. As a matter of fact, they push so hard. You have to push them so hard to activate them that I don't want to take my phone out and put it in here, but for example, also on the iPhone 6, I like the 5 on top because it's not by the other buttons. When you push the power button is on the right side of the 6, and your volume up and down are on the left side. When you push the power button, you have to make sure, of course, that your fingers aren't on the other side squeezing, because you'll squeeze the power buttons. But it's so hard to push in this case that even if your fingers are below, I found that if my fingers is, they kind of fit good, I can kind of feel them here, so I make sure I'm under it, and I'll push here. And if you look really close, when I push this button, I squeeze against my hand, this kind of flexes a little bit. And with the phone inside there, even if I don't push this button at all, just the flexion underneath it will activate that button. Because I always wondered when I go to turn it off, when I go to turn my screen off, so I developed that good habit. Instead of leaving my screen on, wasting the battery, as soon as I use it, I just tap the screen off. And every time I do it, a lot of times my volume thing will appear and it'll go down, and if I'm trying to press it, it'll go down repeatedly. And what's happening is the flexion of the case is generates so much force from pressing this hard button that right there, squeezing it in actually activates this button. So it really stinks. I mean, it's an awesome case, awesome looking case, but man, you really have to reef on these buttons to push them when the phone's in there, and that just stinks. And the Otterbox for the 5 and 5S is nothing like that. It works beautiful. You just tap them, everything works. The other downside, that's the biggest, I think, complaint. The other downside is any aftermarket, and this isn't the case on the 5 either, but the 6, they made the space so narrow that here's an Amazon cord. Amazon cords are very well made, very durable, super cheap. They're a very good replacement cord. It doesn't, as you can see, it doesn't fit. See, the Apples are a lot narrower. This is all nice and reinforced and heavy duty. Just doesn't fit. So you're limited. You have to use almost the original adapter for everything, and on the Speck case, man, the biggest things for me, what I like about this is obviously the grip. To me, it's so stupid to have a phone case with a so shiny and slippery of a grip that you hold it and it slides right out of it defeats the whole purpose of having a case, right? So the grip on this feels very good. You want to find that sweet spot. You don't want it so grippy that, just like sticky gummy rubber that you can't slide it in your pocket. I've had a case like that a couple years ago with a different phone where, man, you couldn't get that thing in and out of your pocket. It would grip everything, and I was happy at first that I had that much grip, but it was a pain in the butt that it didn't go in your pocket nice at all. And with this one here, it's so much smaller. If you look at the size, You know, you're lopping off a lot of the height. As far as the width, man, quite a bit of the width too, and the thickness, of course, as you can see from here. So it's just small all the way around. It feels really good. It feels kind of like the iPhone 5 case does, like the same size in your hand. It just the walkie-talkie size, you know, like when you just grab a brick, boom, there it is. That's the size right there. Here you're starting to get a little bit big, you know. But at any rate, there's a rubber lip around the edge, which no matter where you put it in your car, if you set it on the dash, you set it screen side down, it's recessed a little bit, so you shouldn't harm your screen. Grippy, it's a rubber ring around it, so it's not going to slide. Nothing is more ridiculous than to put your phone on your dashboard, turn a corner, and have it slide into the window. That's very bad design, right? So no matter where you put it on its back, the grip keeps it from moving. You put it on its top, and it keeps it from moving. So really, really nice design, super tight fit. Protection, it says military standards and all these things on the package. I doubt it would be as good as this just from the amount of, you know, or the lack of the amount of material. But the trade-off, oh, and the buttons work like a dream. You know, ringer, very, very easy to press. Screen on off, very, very easy to press. Doesn't press the buttons. Very, very nice. And the other thing is, the cutouts are really generous and nice, and all the aftermarket parts fit. The Amazon cords fit like a dream, little room to spare. I mean, it's just a more functional case, you know. This is a good case, but you're giving up a lot, and the buttons kind of ruin it. The fact that not all cords work with it. I mean, there's just a lot of negatives with this, and I was very disappointed because I love Otterbox products. I love the color schemes. The one thing that I wish Speck would do is they've got these pastel colors going on that I'm just not a fan of. They got some weird color schemes, some like pastel blue and white, and they just look terrible. This was the only thing to me that looked decent, just black and gray. You know, it's the other ones look terrible. I wish they would get into, instead of the pastel look, get into some modern, you know, I like this because that's the color of our logo. However, if they had like a, you know, black with green rubber like this color, it would be really cool. Really, really cool. I mean, it would look sharp with a rubber bright lime green ring around it, and, you know, the lines. Man, Speck, make some stuff like that. That would be so cool. But right now, I do have a Trident Aegis or something. Well, it's the one with the metal rim. I have one of those coming from Amazon. Should be here in a couple of days. I'll review it. But for right now, man, for, you know, everything, all things considered, this has got to be one of the best cases. You know, doesn't look like much, just a shell you pop on, but the way the buttons work, the way it fits in there, the way it grips, the lack of bulk and size, and the protection, it's has to be one of the very top cases. And little things, like you want to be able to plug multiple things into it, right? You don't want to buy a plug and have to only buy a certain kind because it doesn't fit your case. That's dumb, you know. So this is, you know, you can access everything. You know, it's recessed, but it's not that far back. I can access it. I don't have any fingernails really, and I can just, with getting the meat of my finger in there, on and off. So, so that's it. Very happy with the Speck case. I just wish they'd change their color scheme to some cool stuff, some vibrant colors. Other than that, it's my first day with it, but man, I really like it. I like it a lot.